everyone, I'm Angelique and I have a brain disorder. Yeah, let's talk about it. At the age of 20 years old, I got diagnosed with CADASIL. CADASIL stands for Cerebral Autosomal Dominant Arteriopathy with Subcortical Infarcts and Leukoencephalopathy. The reason I'm making this video is when I got diagnosed at 20 years old and when my dad got sick when I was 19 years old, there was no video about the experiences of someone with CADASIL. There were tons of videos, well not tons, a few videos about what CADASIL is and the medical terms and what everything means and the symptoms, very, very clinical, very from an objective point of view, more medical practitioners talking about the disease, neurologists especially, and just a lot of seminars for med students. It was always catered towards med students, and it was never catered towards someone who had just received a diagnosis and feels like their life is going to fall apart, because that's what I went through in 2019. Well, 2018, when my dad got diagnosed. CADASIL is a hereditary stroke disorder, to sum it up broadly, and it's caused by a mutation of the Notch3 gene on chromosome 19 specifically. Basically affects the blood flow in your small blood vessels, especially cerebral vessels within your brain. I'm going to explain the symptoms, how do you test for it, what I went through, and a little bit more about myself, I guess. I don't know. Please see this video for what it is. This is more so for everyone who would want to know about the experiences of someone who is going through it with CADASIL or whose family is someone in their family is diagnosed with CADASIL. This is not the video if you need medical information. Everything is from medical sources. Please read up on those sources. There are a few videos on YouTube which I will link down below if you would want to see more about the medical aspect, you know, the terminology and those type of things. I'm keeping it laid back today. I'm going to do my makeup. I haven't done makeup in so long, so just bear with me for now. Hold on. Okay, I got it. And the only mirror I have here, because this is not my house, the only mirror I have here is from this makeup palette from ColourPop Cosmetics, and I just cleaned it up a bit. It's very old. Today I'll do a natural look and I'll explain what CADASIL is, and we just have a chit chat like girly girls, just talk. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm keeping it laid back. I don't think we should go in the feelings. We save that for another video. You can only get CADASIL. Wait, no. Not only because there are rare instances where someone can develop this mutation throughout their life, but majority of the time, most people who have been diagnosed with CADASIL is because they have a mutation of the Notch3 gene on chromosome 19. This mutation is inherited by one of their parents. So one of their parents has this mutation, which basically means the following. It affects the blood flow in your small blood vessels, particularly your cerebral vessels, that is within your brain. And I'm quoting from my diary. I did research and I wrote it down because I am not a doctor. Your muscle cells surrounding these blood vessels will gradually die. And then you get blood vessel damage. Blood vessel damage, that is what's arteriopathy. So cerebral, brain, autosomal dominant, it's a hereditary disorder. You get it from one of your parents. Cerebral autosomal dominant, holy shit, I forgot. Cerebral autosomal dominant arteriopathy. That's where I was. Okay, let's talk about memory loss. If you've had a few seizures and everything and you have damage to your subcortical part of your brain, the region in the brain, it can cause cognitive dysfunction and memory loss and things. So yeah, if I forget a few things, I have an excuse. Anyway, blood vessel damage basically means arteriopathy. So cerebral means brain, autosomal dominant, it's hereditary. Arteriopathy means blood vessel damage with subcortical infarcts. That means tissue death in your brain area. If you get infarcts, especially in your brain, can lead to stroke. Leukoencephalopathy basically means it's a change in your brain tissue, specifically your white matter, which can also be seen through an MRI. How did I find out I have CADASIL? So basically, in 2018, I was a law student. It was like the middle of the year, And my dad got very sick, very, very, very sick. Like we thought we would lose him. We have a family group and they're like, yeah, so dad's in the hospital. They're doing tests. It looks like he had a stroke and stuff. If I'm honest with you, I don't remember a lot of how my dad got sick because I dissociated. I blocked it out of my memory because it was just such a bad time for me. The gist of it was my dad got sick in 2018. He suffered a stroke. I'm not sure if it was like 1 stroke or 2 strokes. And they did a lot of testing and they misdiagnosed him with multiple sclerosis. And a lot of people who have CADASIL are misdiagnosed with other diseases. This is another thing. The way you test for CADASIL is through a skin biopsy and blood testing. So we did blood tests. They told him there's a 50% chance that your kids may have inherited this disease. Then he got medically laid off. So he had a company and he had to sell his shares and it was really, really difficult. My parents moved to Potchefstroom in 2019 because of everything that happened in 2018 with my dad's health. And basically to be closer to us, they moved. And then my dad stopped working and it was a really difficult time for our family. My mom became his primary caretaker, caregiver, his primary caregiver. We shifted from a family with both parents working, my dad owning the company, my mom being in compliance and risk. We went from being a family who felt stable and fine at the time to being completely shattered. It broke me seeing what my family had to go through and my dad, and it was terrifying to see him struggle through the strokes, and for a while he wasn't even able to talk anymore. So he was just silent, and that was rough. That was rough. Yeah, it was a rough time. Fast forward, my oldest sister decided to take the test. And it came back positive. We're like, well, damn. It just made things more real. I may have CADASIL. My sister has CADASIL. I hate seeing her go through pain. I hate seeing my family go through any pain. And knowing that, oh shit, we may have to get to the point where my dad is, because he had so much stress throughout his life. And I think that just made his symptoms worse, and the progression of the disease just, it escalated it. Yeah. If you have a lot of stress like my dad had with his business and being a business owner, it will definitely increase your chances of having the symptoms at an earlier stage, which it will also increase your chances of having a stroke earlier then. Stress management is very, very important for someone with CADASIL. So in 2019, all my sisters, we all said we want to get tested. My sister got tested, positive. My other sister and I, so like, okay, can we please get tested? We got tested in the middle to end of the year in 2019, and 6 weeks go by and it comes back positive. I just remember, and I remember the phone call vividly, where I spilled some, damn it, you see, I hope I can take this out. Anyway, I remember the phone call from the neurologist. So they called my mom. They said, okay, the test results are back. She just sat there and she's like, yeah, we thought so. The call ended and we all started bawling our eyes out. I immediately went to my dad and I just sat with him, and he cried and I cried and my middle sister cried and my mom cried, and it was rough just thinking about that day. And I know my dad was very upset because he felt guilty, and I never wanted him to feel guilty. It's not his fault, he didn't know, and even if he did know, it shouldn't prevent you from having kids if you want kids. I don't want children for multiple reasons. I just remember how I felt that day. for the rest of the year for that matter. I literally, when I found out I had CADASIL, I stopped my studies. I discontinued my studies, and I knew, oh damn, I have CADASIL. I do not want to stop working at 50 years old, because that's the reality of it. With CADASIL, the onset of strokes occur between 45 and 50. That's just an estimate, but that's like the average. My dad was 50 years old when he got his first stroke that we know of, because you get silent strokes and silent seizures throughout your life with CADASIL, which can lead to dementia eventually. So that's fun. I just immediately stopped my studies, went to the admin building of my university. I told them, listen, can't do this anymore. I just want to discontinue it. I need to take some time off. So I took the rest of 2019, took the time off to figure out what I want to do for 2020. I think it was close to my year-end exam in 2019 when I discontinued my studies. 2020, I enrolled at the same university. I enrolled in psychology because my reasoning at the time was like, well, I'm going through a lot of things right now and I'm very depressed and I can relate to psychology and I need therapy. Therefore, I'm going to study it. And yeah, that's the truth. It's not that I was like, yeah, I want to be a therapist, I want to be a psychologist. That's not what went through my mind at the time. It was just literally, what can I study? I need to study. What can I study? What do I find interesting? I find the human mind, the human psyche interesting. I love people. I love working with people. Therefore, let's study psychology. It's lately where I want to speak about it more often. I would go to doctor's appointments and people would not know what CADASIL is. By people I mean my doctors, would not know what CADASIL is, and I had to explain it to them. This is the band that I have. So basically, stroke risk, no TPAs, no anticoagulants, no thrombolytics, no vasoconstrictors, no arteriography. I don't know what those things are. I just know don't use aspirin. And I've been successful, I think. I don't use aspirin. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Smoking's really bad for anyone. PSA. Smoking's really bad. Anyway, it's especially bad for someone with a blood vessel disorder. And I already have bad blood vessels. So let's not make it worse. Let's just blend this out. This is annoying me. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that. Ooh. Just hold on. Now I look like a proper ghost. Not just a ghost, but a proper one. What do I do now to cope with stress? I journal. I try to be happy. I surround myself with people I like. I placed my needs first, and that was a game changer. Just blend this in. I am a makeup artiste. FYI, this is not a video that you have to watch to receive any makeup inspiration or makeup tips and tricks. This is just me doing my makeup. There's one thing that I forgot to mention about CADASIL is the symptoms. Like one of the biggest things, like I mentioned how you test for it, I mentioned what it is. Symptoms would include migraine, seizures. I've had one seizure in 2013. We thought it was like epilepsy or something. Migraines I've had from the age of 12. I've always struggled with migraines. I just didn't know it was because of CADASIL per se. I have migraine with aura, blotches and spots. If I look there, I can't see there, and if I look there, I can't see what's there. That's how I know, okay, I'm getting a migraine now. Mood disorders. I've been diagnosed with depression. I have anxiety. I have everything you can think of wrapped into one. And it's basically because of CADASIL. It's a brain thing. It will affect everything. It basically affects your whole system. It can cause numbness. You can have numbness in your hands, lack of blood flow, vertigo. Everyone's symptoms are different. The degree of severity is also different. So it really depends. It progresses to seizures, and those seizures can progress to strokes. Those strokes would later on progress to dementia. So the last phases of CADASIL would be dementia. There's no cure for CADASIL. It's something that I'll have to live with and accept. The only thing you can do as a person with CADASIL is treat your symptoms. That's it. avoid aspirin and clopidogrel, however you want to say it, between 2 and 5 cases of people with CADASIL per 100,000 people. So it's a rare disorder. The issue is the prevalence is unknown because people get misdiagnosed. They've had recurring strokes throughout their life and they just don't know about CADASIL. That's the problem. And this is why I'm making this video, shed light on the thing that I have and that so many other people have in this world. I think they said in this study that I read, approximately 1,000 families have been identified with this mutation. So we are one of that 1,000. I am registered on the CADASIL registry. I'll add things below as well. I'll try and remember. If you're interested in seeing another video, let me know what you want to see. I'll link my Instagram as well. I'm very active on it. If I should go on with stories about CADASIL, stories about my life, whatever you want to consume. You as the consumer. Me as the person who is right here. But anyway, love you. Bye.